So, you guys remember just a couple weeks ago when I gave you the 19th week update, and I was like, oh, hooray, we can finally feel more baby movements, and they're not too strong yet, but they're there. That has changed. That has changed. So I'm excited to tell you more about that, and also how our 20-week anatomy scan appointment went because little baby was being quite the show off and was hilarious. So lots of fun things to tell you guys this week. All right, so for this pregnancy update, I'm combining weeks 20 and 21, and I really don't have a good reason for that other than just they got away from me. The weeks have been going by so quickly, and we had his 20-week appointment at the very end of the 20th week. He was technically like day one of the 21st week. So anyway, I didn't want to make the 20th week video without being able to recap how that appointment went for you. And so now here we are at like the end of the 21st week, and I will just give you the update for both of those times. Let's see, week 20, baby was the size of a banana, and officially halfway through the pregnancy, the app said that he's the size of a banana, and that seems about right, especially because when I feel him now, I can feel movements sometimes in like two different places. You know, it's clear that he's like moving over here, but also maybe his feet or something are moving over here. So a banana was week 20. And then in this 21st week that I'm just wrapping up, the app said that he is now the size of a pomegranate. So, more exciting was to finally see him in this anatomy scan appointment that we went to. So, typically you get that appointment right around halfway, and it's apparently not as in depth depending on where you go as what we experienced. We went through UC Health, and they told us that apparently they do like twice as much as what other places normally would give you from the maternal fetal medicine department. So I don't really know how all of that works, but I'm really thankful for what we ended up getting because the appointment was just over an hour long. It was super in depth and it was really cool. So we've also got lots of pictures, and I'm going to try to hold those up in a minute and show you guys. But yeah, he's he still looks kind of more like an alien right now. Like he doesn't have a lot of fat on him, and so he doesn't really look uh like a super human looking baby. I don't know how to describe that. He's a human baby, but he doesn't look super human right now. It's not like later on in the pregnancy where apparently around 30 weeks I think we could opt to pay for the 3D ultrasound. I think it's 3D, but it's like the one that you just you get to see more of like the facial features, and you can actually kind of see just a better idea of what they're going to look like. And anyway, this is not quite like that. He still yeah, he still just kind of looks like an alien, but a really, really cute alien. They go through like every part of the body that you can check in this anatomy scan. So again, it was really in depth. Like they even looked at all the way down the spinal cord, and they looked at his heart, and we were able to see the 4 chambers, and then looking to make sure that the valves are opening and closing properly, and I mean, just all the details, things that I had no idea we were even going to be able to see. So it was cool because I'm like laying on the long table thing, and then Kevin was just sitting next to me. Thankfully, they let Kevin in. They told us originally that he wasn't going to be able to join due to COVID, but I called like that week and just double checked if they had changed anything, and luckily they were letting like one support person in now as long as we were wearing masks, and we got like our temperature checked. So anyway, Kevin's sitting next to me, I'm here, and then we're like looking at the monitor that was up in front of us, and then the sonographer, I think that was her title. She sits, next to me and has her own like screen that she's looking at as she's got the little ultrasound tool and um, just kind of moving it around everywhere, all over my stomach and applying lots of pressure. They're amazing. I don't know how they make it look so easy. It doesn't come naturally to me. Like when she's looking at what I see as blobs on the screen and she's like, "Oh, that's the left kidney and this is the right kidney." And she's able to like point out exactly, different hemispheres within the brain of our baby. I mean, she really had to like use the mouse and like show us on the screen exactly what she was talking about, when all Kevin and I were seeing is just a bunch of like black and gray and white images. So if it didn't clearly look like it was part of the baby, we were having a really hard time telling what it was. But she walked us through the whole appointment. She was really detailed, describing what we were looking at and what she was looking for, and then whether or not she found it. And then once she found what she was looking for, she was always like very reassuring that like, yep, that's exactly how it's supposed to look, thankfully. So yeah, we got through the whole appointment with no concerns. Everything seems to be developing as it should, and he's healthy. He's in the 67th percentile as far as like his length and weight right now. So if you had, 100 babies lined up, and 100 was like the heaviest or the biggest, he's like 67th in line. So that's a good thing. And yeah, no cause for concern. What else? She was able to take his measurements and just show that he is where he should be, accurately developed for like this halfway point. And he's weighing in at almost a whole pound. So that's exciting, and also explains why I am finally starting to put on more weight and just like get bigger and feel bigger. So yeah, he's gonna really be ramping up his development in these last 18 weeks or so, and just adding more fat onto his body, like actually storing it away, not just for his nutrition, but for like the formation of the rest of him. So now he'll start to look eventually more like a human, not an alien. And Kevin and I haven't decided yet if we're gonna go with that 3D ultrasound or just wait till he's born. I don't know, because maybe it would be fun to just be completely surprised by his features and everything. But now, like, we have all this technology available to us that wasn't in existence, before, or wasn't as clear as it is now. And so, I don't know. It could be really cool to also do that appointment somewhere around 30 weeks, but still deciding. So, anyway, the whole anatomy scan went really, really well. Again, everything was coming in as really healthy. We got to see so much in depth about his organs and his the physical features. And so, funniest thing though about that appointment, oh my goodness. So I kept telling Kevin, and I kept telling the sonographer, or whatever her title is, that I was like, I'm really sure that this baby is super active. Like, it seems like he's more active than normal, and I don't have something to compare that to. I don't have a reference point, but just talking with other people, it feels like he is a very active baby. So, I say that at the beginning, and she's kind of like, yeah, okay, cool. But no, when she starts moving her little ultrasound tool around, she's like, oh my gosh, you were not kidding. Like, this kid was, the way she kept saying it, he just kept giving her a run for her money. She kept using that phrase over and over. Or like, she'd be looking around for something in particular and he'd keep moving, and she's like, man, kid, you're really making me work for it. And, apparently he is a very active baby, like more than most. And that's not a bad thing. It's just, it made her job a little bit harder, and also why that appointment took almost, or over an hour, because there were certain things that she kept looking for, and he just kept moving, and she couldn't get him to hold still enough to just take the picture or like get whatever she needed identified. So anyway, she was very patient. I mean, she does this all the time, but she kept reiterating like how active he is, and just watching him was making all of us laugh, and especially me, because I can feel him in me. Like every time I'm feeling these movements, it was cool to be able to look up on this screen and for the first time see like, yep, I see that you just kicked me, or I can see that you are like rolling over. And the other thing about that is she was able to show us on the screen. So my placenta has attached at the back of my womb, so closer to my spine. So if you imagine, like, here's my spine back here, so it's like placenta, then baby, and then me, like my skin. And so that's also why I can feel him so clearly, more than a lot of other people, depending on where their placenta attaches. It can create more of a barrier. But since mine is all the way back here, there is not much separating this kid from me. And I am feeling everything. Like a couple weeks ago when I gave you guys that 19th update, it was like, oh yeah, his movements are getting stronger. I'd been feeling movement since I think week 13 or 14. But they were really getting stronger by week 19. Now, in the past couple weeks, holy cow, guys. I just feel like sometimes he's karate chopping me or like doing a ninja kick or something. And every now and then it's multiples in a row. So I can only imagine he's in there just like bam, bam, bam. It's hilarious. And I really love it. But also, sometimes it's just funny. And sometimes I'm trying to sleep and I'm like, kid, I have to sleep. And you are karate chopping my stomach. And he's not even fully developed yet. So I can only imagine how much stronger these are going to become. And I'm slightly worried about it because I'm like, please don't break my ribs or something in there. I mean, I don't know. It's going to get a lot stronger, and I am going to cherish every second of it because I won't have this forever, and I also know like it's very reassuring to feel him moving around in there constantly. I just know that he is doing okay, and I don't really have to question that. And so I feel very appreciative for it. But I'm also preparing myself for the fact that I'm probably going to be like internally beaten up for the rest of these 18 weeks. And so it was fun to see him and how active he truly is on the screen. And then the funniest moment of all, we laughed so hard, and Kevin and I are like, all right, we're in for it. We're going to have a really adventurous child and might need to put him into yoga quickly, because at one point the lady was trying to what was she trying to get? I don't know. She was trying to see something on like the front of him, and he kept rolling over and making that difficult. And at one point, he flipped himself all the way upside down and completely went into downward dog. Like his head was down, his butt was up in the air and like pressing against me, and he had just curled like his whole spine. You could see it all like stretched or curled. He was in full downward dog position in my womb. And I just thought that was the funniest thing. And he held that position for a little bit. And we were just cracking up because she ended up having to take her tool and like flip it upside down so that she could get the imaging that she needed. But this child, he's making me laugh already. That was an adventure. It was a lot of fun. I'll show you guys some pictures real quick. I don't know how well these are gonna show up on the screen. Yeah, so there you can see like his profile, and his little legs are like tucked up, kind of just curled into him. Here's another one of the profile. I really like that one. You can see like just his face shape so clearly. And it kind of looks like he's blowing bubbles out of his mouth, but she told us that's actually the umbilical cord, just kind of floating next to him, and it shows up looking like bubbles. So that's what that is. This is his tiny little foot. This is his right foot. And then next to it, I think she got the left foot. So just cute little toes. And then one more of his profile and kind of weird looking legs tucked up. Yeah. He's so cute. The one thing that we couldn't see very well, and I was a little bummed, but it's okay, he was moving around so much, and eventually she got to see like everything she needed and with clear detail. Like she really took her time in the appointment to get all of that information, but we just couldn't see the front of his face very well. We got those profile pictures, and then we were supposed to be able to get like a straight on um, shot of his face, but that was the one piece of him that he was like really shy about and would not let us get it. So at some point we kind of got to see just like his nose and his lips down to his chin right here, but then the rest of like this part of him was hiding in like a shadow somehow, and that was as much as we could get. So still really, really cute. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, there you go. I think those are the big developments from the past couple weeks. Not much else has changed. Every now and then I will have a slight wave of nausea that goes over me, but then it passes, and it is nowhere near like what the first trimester was like. But yeah, it's just kind of weird. I don't know where it comes from or why, but every now and then in the past couple weeks, I'll just feel super nauseous. And then give it a minute and it passes, and that's it. So I don't know, but there's that. I'm gonna show you guys the bump, and then because this is a little bit of a longer video with that appointment, I'll really just share like one more detail, and that's it. So I'll show you the bump. All right, so we're at the end of 21 weeks here, and there you go. I don't know, black shirt. Don't know if it shows up very well, but there's the bump. All right, final detail that I'll just share for this video. Normally I share something that's like explicitly connected to living sustainably, the whole purpose of this channel and the work that I do. But I don't know. This, I think it's technically connected to living sustainably, I think, because exercise in pregnancy, I don't know. I've seen a lot of tools and things that you can buy, and like all these special things that you can use to exercise during your pregnancy, but I've basically just taken the extremely minimalistic approach and haven't gotten any of that stuff, but I'm just exercising with what I have available to me, and most of it is just with like my own body. So the main thing that I've been doing, and I know I really should be stepping it up more than this, but every single day, Kevin and I are committed to just going on really long walks together and with our dog. And so while that may not seem like very much, apparently walking is like the best exercise that you can do when you're pregnant, because it's working all of the muscles that you'll specifically need for when you're giving birth. And oh, there was something else about walking. What was it? I don't remember, but I think that's the main thing, is that it's working the right muscles. It becomes increasingly more important the closer that you get to going into labor. So for me, I'm trying right now to just continue to build up my stamina, and even as like I get bigger, or it takes more energy to do these walks and I feel more out of breath, like it's interesting to watch the progression of that during this whole pregnancy. And the same loop that we've been doing just like around our neighborhood, it's starting to get a little bit more challenging. I feel like I'm carrying more weight around. But anyway, I'm committed to doing that as much as possible and for as long as possible so that I can build up that stamina and those muscles. And that's basically the biggest form of exercise that I'm doing like every single day. But I am curious to know it from you guys, especially if you have gone through this and had kids. What would you recommend for exercise that is safe during pregnancy? And especially just because with our like prior experience, I just I feel more cautious about a lot of the things that I do or don't do, and I want to make sure that what I'm doing is as safe as possible. So I would love to hear your recommendations, but also how do you do that sustainably, like without having to go out and buy a whole bunch of fancy tools? If we were to buy anything, like I've considered some weight sets or things like that, we would definitely be buying them secondhand. So that's an option. I know there's always YouTube tutorials, things that I can just follow along with at home. I should probably really get back into yoga because I was really good about doing that for a while, but it's just not as fun for me to do it from home by myself. I would rather be in a room with all the people, and that's just not happening right now. So I should just get committed to doing it regardless, and yeah, I know yoga would be really good from home. Apparently my kid likes it, doing downward dog inside of me. So yeah, what are your tips? I would love to hear from you this time around, and feel free to just put them in the comments below or message me, and I would be really appreciative of that. That's going to be it for today, the 20th and 21st week update, and then for the 22nd week I will just keep that video concise, that pregnancy update, and then something to do with living sustainably while pregnant in that video. If you would like to support me on Patreon, I will link that below. It's patreon.com/that.minimal.life, and I've got a bunch of like bonus content, exclusive perks for patrons of my channel. So I just wrapped up a 30-day challenge with my patrons there and helped them to develop more sustainable habits over that month. So that just finished, and there's other like posts and videos and things that go up onto that channel. You can continue to find more content here on my YouTube channel as well as my Instagram, which is linked below. And then of course my website, it's got my blogs and how you can contact me if you would like to schedule a personal consultation. Oh, I am going to be doing 2 donation-based events online in July. So on Tuesday, July 7th, in the evening, I've got a composting Q&A workshop, and then the same exact content will be on the following Sunday, July 12th, and that'll be in the afternoon. So both are composting Q&As. I'll give you some basics about composting and then give you some time to ask whatever questions you come up with. And again, that's donation based, 2 different times for you to choose from. So I'll link those below and would love it if you signed up, and I will see you there virtually. Thanks for watching, thanks for your support, and I will talk to you guys soon.